Ever since this situation with the 14th Amendment, it has a lot of people very bothered that the 14th Amendment was specifically for FBAs. We know the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment in particular, those three amendments was for FBAs. And a lot of immigrants have been finding out, and this particular Latino immigrant is really don't get the 14th Amendment. I want you to hear what this gentleman has to say because he clearly don't have a clue.
I'm trying to figure out why so many African Americans cooked me in my last video because I said, hey, don't feed into what Donald Trump is saying, that the 14th Amendment was solely for the babies of slaves, that he's weaponizing it to get what he wants and more abuse for his mass deportation. See, when the 14th Amendment came about, it was originally for the babies for enslaved people. Great, cool. But that was also created to prevent any debate after. Because shortly after, Wong Kim Ark, a descendant of Chinese parents, he was born in the United States, visited China with his parents. When he came back to the United States, he was denied entry. He ended up suing the United States and ended up winning, and that he was indeed a U.S. citizen. But see, I hope you all understand that it wasn't just solely for children of slaves. You understand there's so many immigrants in this country from the beginning of times. If you're not Native American, you're immigrant. The Europeans came here. That's partially why the 14th Amendment was created. For the Europeans, for the Hispanics, for the Asians, the list goes on. They were thinking ahead. And let me remind you that after even you guys received this 14th Amendment, right, after it was written, there were still things happening like Jim Crow. And civil rights battles continued on. So I don't know why you guys are celebrating that. Donald Trump over here saying that it was solely the babies of slaves, which has me to believe some of you guys don't even know how you came about here. Like y'all haven't dug that far into your ancestry. Because last I checked, even after slavery and all that stuff, people came in to the United States willingly and became citizens. So I wonder if you guys know whether you're descendant of slaves or from people that immigrated willingly to the United States.
Clearly, this gentleman has no clue about United States history for him to make that video. And the reason people cooked him, as he admitted in the last video, because he's just saying things out of his head. If you knew anything about U.S. history, we did not immigrate here because there was no country for us to immigrate to, sir. There was no country for us to immigrate to. In order for us to be an immigrant, sir, we have to have a country that we came from, like you. You have a foreign flag. You can wave that foreign flag because that is your country of origin. We have no country of origin, sir. Now, some of us, a lot of us, come from the African continent, but that's a continent. No different than saying you came from Europe, right? Or you came from Asia. That's a continent, not a country. And I know a lot of people have not been educated on the differences between a continent and a country. Like in America, they like to say Africa. Africa is a continent. It's not a country. It's like saying North America. That's made up of Mexico, United States, Canada, and parts of the Caribbean. That's considered North America, right? That's a continent, not a country. But you said that we don't know if we immigrated here, stupid thing to say, or we were born here, or whatever the case may be. Sir, one thing about our history, it was very documented. And our ancestors that came here and stayed on these plantations for 250 years, to be exact. A lot of us could find our family on the 1870 census. When I did the research, I found my family on the 1870 census. It's my great-great-great-grandmother and grandfather is what I found on both sides on the 1870 census. And that's just basically three or so, 4 generations back. I found that, right? Of my family that I can prove that was tied to this land. During my research, sir, I found out that my ancestors came and they were brought here to Virginia, and then they ended up being sold from Virginia and brought down to sugarcane plantations in Louisiana. And my family stayed in Louisiana all that time until they moved to Texas. And the only reason they moved to Texas is because in Port Arthur, they had opened up a lot of plants and they had a lot of jobs. So a lot of the brothers moved their families to Port Arthur, Texas, and they got them good plant jobs. That's before all you immigrants start coming in here, right? Around that time period. Y'all couldn't come here. So the only people that can do the jobs were black men, not people like yourself, sir. So my family been here for hundreds upon hundreds of years. A lot of FBAs family has been here hundreds and hundreds of years. People like yourself, sir, immigrated to this country because you said that your family wanted a better life. Now, maybe you were born here or whatever, but your family immigrated here. They didn't make it in their homeland. And when President Trump said the 14th Amendment is for descendants of slaves or for children of slaves, he's right. It's not about gassing our head up. He's right. See, the issue that you have with that, with him saying that, is because he about to end y'all hustle. Y'all been hustling off of the 14th Amendment that was meant for my ancestors. And y'all been dropping all your anchor babies off here so you can be anchored to this country. And now President Trump can say, no. Supreme Court gave me a lane now. Now I can shut that down. And rightfully so. Let me give you an example here. So about 35 to 40 countries in this world don't even offer birthright citizenship. Don't offer that. Even when I went to South Africa, and that's an African country, you can't be a citizen if you have a baby there. The baby can't. You know what I'm saying? A lot of countries don't offer that. But y'all have been hustling the 14th Amendment for a very long time. And it wasn't meant for that. It was meant to make these 4 million people or so, right after the time of slavery, make us citizens of this country. And that's what the 14th Amendment was about. It was not about allowing everybody and their mama to come over here, have children, and anchor themselves to this country. It was never meant for that. So no, President Trump was completely right about that. See, some of you are finding out that we're not immigrants, we can't be deported, and that's bothering people like you. That's why, because see, y'all wanted us to come out there in L.A. when you was out there going back and forth with ICE and all of that. And then you kept saying, you're next. It was coming from your community, sir. It was coming from your community. And then y'all start finding out, wait a minute, the 14th Amendment, it was for slaves? And y'all know we were slaves. Wait a minute, they can't be deported? What? They're not immigrants? Because a lot of you were genuinely believing that black Americans were immigrants. I thought that was the most comical thing I ever heard in my life, that y'all really thought we were immigrants. I'm like, man, pick up a freaking book. Grab your cell phone. Grab it. You can go look on Google, ChatGPT, Claude, or any other AI will tell you black Americans are not immigrants and can't be deported. And y'all, that's freaking y'all out, and some of y'all getting pissed about it, actually. That see, some of y'all thought in your community that, hey, well, hey, y'all next. So, hey, black people, come out here and protest and get in front of all the rubber bullets and the sticks and the tear gas and get your reputation, demeaned again and all of that. And then you find out, oh, wait a minute, when they say it's not their fight, it's really not their fight. They don't really relate to this. And a lot of you got mad. So yes, people are going to cook you because you're just wrong. You're wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. At least if you go get on these public platforms, sir, at least do a little research. At least just a little bit. Make yourself look good. Make your mama proud. Because your mama may see this. You know what I'm saying? Your mamita. She may see this and and be like, what's going on with my son? He getting cooked because he couldn't research for 2 minutes before he made this video. Man, take all that video down just to save face, my man. Don't do yourself like this. And you doubling down on ignorance. It doesn't look good in the age of knowledge, sir. Don't look good. We're not immigrants. We've been here hundreds of years. The 14th Amendment is for our community specifically. It was never meant for any of you others to scam and grift to get into this country. It was never meant for that. And all it is President Trump is saying that the free ride is over. That's it. Because call it what it is. People in your community, sir, really, we not all. But in your community, y'all have a lot of colorism issues, even against the black Hispanics, or definitely in Mexico against the Oaxacans, the indigenous. If you're dark, it's a problem. And a lot of black people have experienced that issue. So that's why a lot of FBAs aren't really saying nothing, because just like we wouldn't defend a white nationalist if he was being deported, we won't defend nobody that acts just like a white nationalist, just with maybe a little color to him either. Because whether it's a white nationalist or people like yourself, the goal is the same. Hatred of FBA. That's why a lot of us not saying nothing. Just to be real with you. Why we want some of you to stay when you treat us like crap? Then don't even start talking about the stuff that happened to black folks in LA. Don't even start with that. So, yeah, instead of worrying about FBA, instead of worrying about us and 14th Amendment, man, worry about yourself. I don't get that. If I was in position and I'm worried about deportation, last thing I'm going to worry about is another group. I'm worried about myself and worried about how I conduct Trump. That'd be the only thing I'll be worrying about. I would not be worrying about the FBAs. That'll be the last people I'm worried about. And y'all never talk about white people. Why don't y'all talk about white people? Talk to white people. Get that. Listen, it's white people getting y'all out. It's not us. It was white people in Trump rallies holding up signs saying mass deportations now. It wasn't a bunch of us. Y'all coming to us like we the one led the charge against mass deportations. We never did. We didn't. Matter of fact, a lot of people in your community voted for mass deportation. And then you get mad when people say it like, oh, well, it was them Cubans that did it. It was this one. It was that one. Look, they put y'all in the community and they said that y'all voted for mass deportation. Maybe it was the Cubans. I'm not denying that. We all see the Cubans have their hand in it. But the Cubans wasn't the only one that voted. Come on now. You can't say out of all the Latinos, only the Cubans voted for Trump. And there was no Puerto Ricans, there was no Mexicans, there was no Guatemalans, there was no Venezuelans or anybody else that could vote. You can mean to tell me everybody voted for Kamala and only the Cubans voted for Trump? I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. No, a lot of you voted for Trump. A lot of you did. And then now you want to come to us like we the one led the effort. And the man said he was going to mass deport you. I've said this many times before on other streams. If Donald Trump said, when I get in office, I'm going to put black people in jail. That's exactly what I'm going to do. That day one, I'm putting black people in jail. Do you really think any black American will vote for that? No. Because we know what they get down is. All of us would have voted against Trump. Every last one of us would have came out to vote against Trump. But yet this man promised to deport you. He promised it. And your community still voted for the man. So don't look at FBA. Go look at the white folk. That's the one you need to go talk to, sir. Can y'all leave us alone in the 14th Amendment? That's the only thing I'm saying. Go handle your business and go talk to them folks, and maybe they'll stop, mass deporting you. Because they the one doing it. It's not us. I don't know why everybody keep putting our name in it. We have nothing to do with that whatsoever, sir.